Hey, best friends. On this week's episode of Teachers Off Duty, we are talking about all things how to retain educators.
Just pay them more.
Like,
it's not that hard.
Pay teachers more money, okay? Hey, best friends. Welcome to this week's episode of Teachers Off Duty. If you don't know me, I am Honest Teacher Vibes, and I am joined by the lovely
Teacher Tales of Miss Smith. That's it. That's
and
quick.
And fishing for clout.
Back again. I love it. Tyler Jackowski. Name sounds like a cuss word, but we rocking with it.
You love my last name.
I do like your last name.
You can
I'm not
have
going to
it.
lie. You know what else I like? The Board Teachers Comedy Tour. Our summer tour is underway. We just finished up a week of shows in Montana. It was amazing. The breeze was cool. The buffaloes were bisoning. It was awesome.
You gotta stop.
I don't know if that's where they
bisoning.
are. But I was watching Yellowstone, and that's where it was.
The buffalo were
Okay,
bisoning.
I don't know. Anyway,
Two
okay.
different animals.
So, right.
Buffalo,
No?
bison.
Yeah.
Buffalo and
Do we
bison are
eat that
two
meat?
different.
Is that meat?
We
No.
can eat.
You can eat bison.
You can
But
eat
like
whatever
during
you
Ice
want.
Age? Are there bison? Okay, sorry. Distracted. Okay, so the new tour, The Teacher Struggle is Real. All new jokes, brand new tour. It's amazing. Just finished Montana. Okay, so we will be in next week. We're in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, then Beaumont, Texas on Friday night, Corpus Christi on Saturday, and McAllen, Texas on Sunday. Our fall shows are selling out fast because that's what the Board Teachers Comedy Tour shows. That's what they do. Okay, we not new to this. We true to this. Okay. The September shows will be in Rutland, Vermont, Syracuse, New York, Buffalo, New York, Erie, Pennsylvania, Dayton, Ohio, South Bend, Indiana. Man, we were. Grand Rapids, Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Maryland, York, Pennsylvania, Reading. Is it Reading, Pennsylvania?
Reading.
All right, first of all, which I'm not going to do. Vancouver, Canada, Honolulu, Hawaii. Still salty, ain't on no shows. Providence, Rhode Island, Waterbury, Connecticut, Medford, Massachusetts, Concord, New Hampshire. Woo, woo, woo. Shout out to Jess. Lexington, Kentucky, Columbus, Ohio, Northfield, Ohio, Charleston, West Virginia, Glenside, Pennsylvania, Huntington, New York. We will have 2 shows there. Also 2 shows in Vancouver, Canada. Montclair, New Jersey, Easton, Pennsylvania, Champaign, Illinois, Peoria, Illinois. That's how you say that? Peoria, and they cousin in them in Illinois. Chicago, Illinois. This is our biggest show ever.
Yes.
It's a 4,000 seat auditorium. It's gonna be popping. Indianapolis, Indiana, Charlottesville, Virginia, Tysons, Virginia, and Red Bank, New Jersey.
Woohoo!
Board Teachers Comedy Tour.
Tired? That was a lot of work.
No, I'm not tired because the Board Teachers Comedy Tour keeps me laughing. It's the feeling, the energy that I need to keep going. Seeing Casey Mack twerk on stage is the best thing I've ever seen. Devin Seabold's shoe game is on point.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Come to the shows.
Always.
It's going to be amazing.
So funny because she'll be like, "We're going to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We're going to Boston, Mass. We're going to Memphis." It's like the best thing I've ever seen. Memphis.
SNL skit. No, it's not.
It's beautiful.
No, it's not. On this week's episode, we are going to be talking about something that is very dear to my heart. Mm-hmm. How to retain educators. And obviously, we know, pay us more money. Okay, good.
Fair.
Go ahead and
Got
get that out there.
Okay, done. Have a good day, everybody.
That was a fun episode. Really earning
Hey,
what
get that out there at the beginning, man.
It's a tough work day. I'm gonna
Gotta
be real.
get that out there at the beginning. But what are some ways that y'all think that we can retain educators? Other than, obviously, let me say this again, pay us more money. You want me to add a little razzle dazzle to it? Pay us more money, pay us more money, pay us more money, pay us more money, hey, pay us more money, pay us more money. You retain them teachers if you pay them more money.
Hey!
More money, more money. Okay.
How did I get here?
Okay.
How do I get out?
So
Come
we're gonna
on,
switch
Tata.
off. We're gonna switch off the unhinged character. Okay, love it.
Because I'm sitting in your seat.
I was gonna say,
This
yeah,
was
you
your
now
seat
you get all
last
my
time.
ADHD. It's
That's
That's
perfect.
mine
Nice.
next.
beautiful.
No.
Honestly, okay. I have worked in a couple different districts, in a couple different types of schools, and I think the thing that an administrator did, because I do think that administrators have a lot more of a pull on retention than they think. A lot of
People
principals
quit they quit bosses, they don't quit jobs. So yes,
Exactly.
you have a lot of
principals like to look back on like this many teachers left because they're going to do this or because they didn't like this, and this. Very few principals will be able to point the finger back at themselves and look in the mirror. But one thing that an administrator did that I really, really appreciated this year was during breaks, they made absolutely sure that we had zero communication with the school so that we could actually be on break.
Ooh.
And that's something that I recognize from the past couple of years. I had a couple of years where during breaks, we were like getting emails on like correcting like curriculum. And they're like, I need you to adjust this. I need you to write out this. Can I see your lesson plans?
Me.
Right?
Stop emailing me, man.
I need to go be holly and jolly with my family, trying to eat some or drink some eggnog. Leave me alone. Sorry?
Yeah, you heard me first. The right time.
Have you lost your mind?
No.
Eggnog?
Yeah,
Have you
sorry.
lost
You
your
don't like
mind?
eggnog?
Thank you. What kind of psychopath drinks eggnog? You probably be chugging the eggnog too.
I knew I was a psychopath, but I don't think that's one of my traits. But that's one thing that's really near and dear to me are administrators who are willing to just like leave teachers alone and actually honor their time off.
Yeah.
Because I feel like time off for teachers is just like time to be anxious about the classroom in your living room.
Yeah, facts.
That's it.
Yeah.
And people are like, why are you checking your email over break? First of all, I forgot to turn it off, okay? So it triggered me when I saw it, and now I'm like in the fetal position for the next 24 hours because I forgot to turn off my notifications. Because
Yes.
people, like literally people are like, why are you checking your email? No, literally
No, it's
forgot to turn it off.
Yeah.
I was just on my laptop minding my business. Ding.
Yeah.
Huh.
and there is that thing of like now that it's in my brain, I could turn it off
But
for
now
a
I'm
while.
scared
I could
I'm gonna
ignore
miss
it.
something.
But then I just like think about it constantly, all the time. Like I need to do that. Like I need to remember that. And then that turns into it's like a domino effect. Once I do this, then I have to do this. And
Yeah.
then this.
And I
then
think we're
this.
just so tired. Like, well, I think it's exhausting because one, can y'all please stop changing the curriculum every year? You retained educators, stop changing the curriculum.
Yeah.
One year I got through an entire curriculum training and school started and they said, oh, we're not going to use that curriculum. I'm sorry. You what? Because I just sat through 22 hours over the course of a week of curriculum training, and y'all tell us not to teach the kids from a PowerPoint, and this lady then stood up here and taught the new curriculum from a PowerPoint for 22 hours.
Yeah.
I can't. That's 22 hours of my life I can never get back.
No.
And y'all are like, it's like a girl when she hits a curb in her car. Oopsie. And they just keep, it's like, you got a flat tire.
This
Your
is
flat-
not a curb hitting moment.
Your flat tires, your
No.
teacher's quitting.
Yes.
You want to retain your educators,
Yeah.
keep your tires good, pay attention to them curbs. And
Yeah.
changing the curriculum in the middle of the school year is curb.
Horrible.
My favorite was always getting the curriculum and then not having the training. That was
It's like, I hate the training, but I also would like the training because I
Like,
still got to use it.
if we're
Figure
gonna
it out.
commit to the curriculum, then yes, give me the training,
Yeah.
please, because that's
The school I'm at now, we don't have a specific curriculum. Like, you create your own
is that
stuff.
worse?
No. Oh, I love it. And this was because I asked you guys on Instagram, and one of the other things was autonomy in the classroom. I like my school. I have autonomy in the classroom as long as I'm teaching the standards and it is text that is rigorous enough for
Yeah.
what they're going to be tested on.
Yeah.
They leave me alone.
But that's such a double-edged sword because for instance, my first couple of years, like my school, the first place I taught at when I was in my very first year, it was very like, autonomy is important. Do your own thing. We want you to create something that you think will fit your class.
Yeah.
But for me as a first year educator, I was like, all right, so that means we're doing class outside whenever it's anything over 60 degrees. We're gonna sit in the sun, and I can't pay
Did they
attention
let you do that?
to anything. Hell yeah.
Are you
Because we had
serious?
autonomy. But that's the thing. It can go a little bit too far. And the thing is, there were never times where I was like, all right, let's like watch like YouTube in class,
Oh,
just
that's-
like watching random. That's fair. Or just
You
do
guys
it.
watch my
You know,
TikToks.
it wasn't like movie day 3 days a week.
Yeah.
But I
still
could
had
have
expectations.
I could have appreciated some structure while also giving me a little bit of creative control in the classroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
like there are
okay.
two different
Okay.
sides to it.
Okay.
It can become a big problem when you have an incredibly irresponsible teacher who's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, do your thing.
Yeah.
Then they're all just
That's
like
how my geometry teacher was. I didn't learn anything sophomore
it's-
geometry.
Yeah.
Fight club in that
club.
in that school.
No, literally, our art teacher, she was retired though, so she didn't care. But them kids was in there boxing gloves on TikTok. I was like, hey man, you know them kids in there fighting on TikTok. It's one of my basketball players. I was like, hey, you wanna, so you wanna fight, run for the next hour, That's crazy.
They're just pounding
They
each other
have
in the
like
head.
actual boxing gloves.
She's back here like sketching a
Yeah,
box.
I was like, what are you doing, fam? She was just chilling at the desk. La, da, 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 da.
How did you find out about that?
The kids showed me the video. Kids, if kids like you,
That'll do it.
Kids
And if the
like
kids
you,
show you
yeah,
the videos.
but I have learned that when they're like, Miss Richardson, what? Admin seen that yet? Mm-hmm. Have y'all gotten in trouble for this yet? Has the principal seen it? Someone in authority? Yes. Give it to me. Let me hand it here. Let me see it.
100%.
Before then, I'm like, I got in trouble once because they were like, hey, the kid showed you a video? No. What video? I never saw anything. My voice get higher octave when I'm lying. It was like, we know you're lying, Miss Richardson. You're sweating.
It's so true.
Sweating. Your armpits are flailing.
I've known you for like 3 weeks. I've heard that. No, I've done that. What are you talking about?
A high octave when I'm lying. Okay.
How did I make that noise?
Yeah, so you got many talents. You all right? Drink some water.
Puberty takes a long time, apparently.
This episode of Teachers Off Duty is sponsored by Mint Mobile. You know when you discover a new binge-worthy show or a song that you're playing on repeat and then you have to share it with all of your friends so that they can experience just how awesome it is with you? That's kind of what it feels like when you discover that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. It's such an awesome deal that there's no way that you can keep it to yourself. I've been paying more than 5 times that amount with other carriers for as long as I've had a cell phone. I actually couldn't believe that it was possible to get wireless at such an affordable price. For $15 a month, I save enough to buy a new phone each year if I want. And because we care so much about our loyal listeners, we don't want you to keep overpaying for wireless either. We're on teachers' budgets. So say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plan and switch to Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you and your teacher squad with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/TOD. That's mintmobile.com/TOD. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/TOD. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
Hey, can I complain about something?
Always.
Yes.
On the same topic of like ways to retain teachers, one of the most annoying things about an administrator who's not like, I almost like a robotic administrator, because I've had administrators who favor teachers who just like kiss ass all day long.
Yeah.
The teacher who will do absolutely anything, will answer emails at 1 a.m.
Yeah, that's not
have
fair.
absolutely no free time, spend almost all of summer in the classroom, like handwriting
not
and like
gonna happen.
script on
Yeah.
it's horrible. They get the most hype.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like you want to show off this teacher for like going that extra mile
Yeah.
and really loving the job.
It's like
and doing
they're burning
everything.
the candle
But
at
the
both ends, and you expect the
Who's
rest
the
of us to
teacher
do
that
that.
like has a panic attack halfway through the year and rips their hair out in front of the kids?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, because you burn
And
the
then
candle
what?
at
We're
both
gonna have to
ends.
write out an email. She's gonna be on leave. Yeah. So that
Yeah.
she can have like regain her mental
Yeah,
health.
yeah.
It's like the hyping up of lack of autonomy. You know, it's when like you don't get anything honored in like your own personal life, and you don't get any credit for that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're being trained to only be your job.
Right.
That's something
That's
that
true.
made me immediately want to leave that school. And when I saw it 3 years in a row, I was like,
Yeah.
Tyler, you can do better.
Because we need
Yeah.
a balance. We need a balance. Like
100%.
it's okay. It's because there are some teachers that are like just negative all the time, and so it's okay to like, but don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't set
That's
yourself on fire to keep others
so
warm.
beautiful.
I'm just
I love
saying
that.
because
Really
people,
pretty.
I stole that from somewhere. I don't know. I
Yeah.
ain't come up with that.
No, I was going to say, I've definitely heard it before.
I was about to say, I'm sure I saw that on TikTok somewhere. But seriously, though, the education profession is one where they expect us to set ourselves on fire to keep people warm. And a lot of times, you expect me to set myself on fire to keep the kids
Yeah.
warm. Y'all better figure out a way to keep them warm, too, or we all finna be cold in here.
Going to get some blankets.
We all finna be cold in here.
Because I'm not setting myself. That, I think, is one of the biggest... That's one of the biggest pieces of advice that I got from other teachers, but did not take. where it's like, you're only getting paid till 2:30.
That's what I'm saying. There's no award for, you don't get any reward for working yourself to death.
Want to hear a story?
Yes.
I got one for you.
I love a Tyler story.
Remember how I told you that my first year, I got ADHD. Let me live.
No, I like it. It's fine. It's fine.
My first year, I wanted to be just like this Spartan of education and just like be more than anyone's ever seen. So I told myself, I was like, I'm going to start this routine every morning where I wake up around like 4 o'clock.
You wanted to be a Spartan for real, because I'm still visualizing the inside of my eyelids at 4 o'clock.
Let me tell you. I woke up at 4 o'clock, made my own breakfast, watched a little bit of like TV or something so as to be fully awake and fully ready to be at the school an hour early at 6.
No, bro.
There
No.
an hour early to be super efficient, fall asleep.
I'm tired listening to this.
Exactly. And I told myself, I was like, if I do this and then I stay like an hour late, I'll be able to be like this ultimate educator. I'll impress everybody. I'll be like a model for everyone. That lasted about 4 days.
Yeah, because
And then I was like, I'm falling asleep at the wheel on the way home.
Yeah.
And I realized that it was just absolutely horrid for my mental health.
Yeah.
It was like the worst case scenario. And I had other teachers being like, that teacher I was telling you about on the last
Yeah.
one, T, she was like, you can't do that.
Stop. It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
So in the first school that I was in, we had to like, it was so messed up. We had to clock in and out.
We had to clock in and out.
It took a
Really?
picture.
We
It
had
took
to
a
clock-
picture of us
What?
to prove that it was on my mother's life.
Like the
Christine,
mama?
Christine, you're back on my mother's life at my first school. You took a picture. No, you put in your little code, and then it took a picture of you to prove that it was you.
That is
What is
butter.
this,
Every now and again, just to screw them, I would like tap it in and then duck down so that they couldn't take my picture. So I'd be like, I don't know, a ghost clocked me in. But you know what happened? You know what happened? I get an email and they're like, if you're having someone else sign in for you, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. And I'm like, you're adorable. Now I'm gonna like
Do it
make
again.
horrible faces. Can't do it. Can't
Just,
do
like,
it.
put
But that's
this
the
in the
thing.
camera.
You put this in. It's like
trolling
6 in
everybody
the
with a-
morning. It looks like a mug shot every single morning. I put in my code and I'm like,
I don't want to see how miserable I am when I come
literally.
in.
And then they show it to you and you're like, yep, that's me.
Yeah, I don't want to see
There
how
it is.
miserable
The
I
worst
look when
thing
I
it
come in
is.
and how miserable I look when I leave.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
going
like-
to come back tomorrow.
We're also adults. It's one thing
Yeah.
if you're hiring like a 14-year-old lifeguard
Yeah,
to clock in
yeah,
just to
yeah.
make sure that like Cody gets to
Yeah,
work
this
on
is
time.
our
Right.
target.
But
Like,
I'm
Yeah.
23.
Yeah.
You know, which isn't old, but I'm
But
not
still,
like
I got a job, a
I'm not an
professional
idiot.
job.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
show up.
Right.
You know, I was like, I think I was late probably 3 or 4 times in the 4 years that I was at that school. You want to know why?
That was awesome.
Anxiety.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I was like, the way my anxiety set up, I'd be on the way to, I'd be at
Expectations
Starbucks on the way to school.
That and it all circles back. The teacher who was there and happy with like did their little pin and was like, they were the people who at the end of the year they were like, I love her commitment.
I
Like,
know.
shut up.
That's
Yeah.
toxic.
Shut up.
And
she
it's like,
hates
no.
every single
Horrifying.
kid. She talks so much about every single person on this
Yeah.
admin. Every single person on that admin got talked about by this like star-spangled teacher. And I'm like, why are we hyping this person up?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
The Star
I
Spangled
don't know.
teacher then took
It's-
me out.
It's the thing is, it's like the status quo or like the surface level of what you're expected to do
Mm-hmm.
is like 6 degrees below what admin expects you to do. And if you don't go way above your pay grade, you're not
Yes.
worth the pay that you're already
Speaking
not
of
getting.
pay,
Oh,
speaking of pay, we really need to pay teachers more.
Yeah.
I don't know how, there's no way to get around that the number one way to retain teachers is you have to pay teachers more money. Teachers do not make a livable wage in this country. In this country, the number 2 way you can retain teachers is give us some support for students' behaviors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the lack of pay plus the disrespect and you treating us like we're kids and taking the kids' word over ours and we are professionals, it is, y'all
Yeah.
always talking about boosting morale. There ain't no morale left to boost because
Yeah.
everybody tired.
100%.
Can't pay their bills and they're tired.
Right.
Yeah, those are two tough things
let's
to deal
choose-
with.
Let's choose
yeah.
one,
Can't
at
pay.
least.
Yeah, y'all are.
If you
play-
can
and
fix
if you
one or the
gotta
other.
pick
Just
one,
one.
if you
50%
gotta-
is better than 0.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
I'll take that any day of the week. No, it's like with the salary, what's so funny is my first year in a Catholic school
Mm-hmm.
in Boston, it's like you're making dirt money. You're making nothing. You're basically volunteering. And the thing that's so
Jess's job,
sad about it, the thing that's
$23,000.
sad about being like a young professional in a job that's selfless, like teaching, is that when you have that end of the year conversation about next year, and they're like, Tyler, you've done such an amazing job. You've enriched these kids' lives. You've made parents trust you. You have documented everything that you've done. You've created lessons that are so engaging and these kids love you. We're going to give you a $40 raise next year. They're expecting me to be like, shut up.
Yeah.
No, what? And
Wow,
the problem
thank
is
you.
that, and they'll be like, well, she only got 20. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing better than Kathy, you know?
Not Kathy.
But that's the thing. It's
Kathy
like
took that 20 straight to the liquor store. She was like, well.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's a real teacher right there.
Yeah.
But I'm like sitting in this meeting and I'm like, you feel like you kind of can't defend yourself.
You can't.
Because in
It's
teaching,
an
it's all
impossible
very,
situation.
You're giving. You
Yeah.
know, you're hyping up other people using your own energy.
There's a lot of guilt associated with the teaching profession. There's a lot of
100%.
things that teachers do that they don't want to do, but they are guilted into doing them.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody that's like, well, just don't do it. You don't understand how the education system works.
Yeah.
You don't understand the culture and the environment in some of these schools. Just don't do it is not an option. Then you want your principal to retaliate against you for the rest of the school year, because that's exactly what some of them will do.
Mm-hmm.
You speak up for yourself and say something they don't like. Retaliation for the rest of the school year. Oh, you need extra expo markers? That's crazy. We don't have any. Wow. Oh, you need somebody to come to your room because somebody threw something or some kids are about to get to fighting. Wow. Here we come. Never shows up.
Yeah.
That is and maybe to retain teachers, make the environments that we work in better.
Yeah.
Can we get some better work environments? I shouldn't have to be assaulted at work. It shouldn't be an acceptable thing. Like, well, in this profession, you can just go ahead and expect to be assaulted. No, you can expect that you need to provide a safe work environment.
How is that ever something that shouldn't be an
Shouldn't be.
asterisk or like a part of the job description?
Shouldn't be.
I think in order to retain teachers, I think we have to make teaching and education less political.
Oh,
in the sense,
it'll never happen, but 1,000%.
So like teacher pay is in public education is attached to the town or city's tax taxing situation.
Yeah.
However much is voted on for the school to spend, like that's how much. So like there were times that we would go to town meetings as teachers and be so disheartened.
Yeah.
And it's usually in May
because
when
people
we're
think
so tired and almost to the end.
That's like
and the town is like voting down the
So
budget that we put
Very
forward
disheartening.
so that we could get $1,000 raise.
Yeah.
Like just so I could
now
go
that
up
was
a step.
discouraging. Now that did happen, to see somebody vote down a increase in pay. Like
And to
you
listen,
see what our salary is.
Yeah, I never went to the town meetings because I never wanted to know what
What they
parents
were
were stepping
saying.
up and being like, these teachers don't deserve anything more, because I needed
cannot,
to keep it
yeah.
separate.
You'll be surprised.
Yes, you would be. You would
It's the
be.
same one that gets
perspective.
you like a $20 card to
Yeah.
a coffee shop, and they're like, "I love you so
Yeah,
much."
like, nah.
I'm like,
I'm
all
like,
right.
If you loved me,
second,
you would have got me a
just-
bottle of vodka with your child's picture on the front of it.
And voted yes at the town meeting.
we don't ask for a lot.
Throw it at the back of my head, please.
Why don't you spend this $20 and just, the $20 extra that you would have to pay on your taxes? Just
The
do that.
$20 that you're gonna have to take and buy your own school supplies with, because we ain't providing none of those.
Yeah.
You want to
It's
retain
true.
educators? Make a way for us to stop having to use our own money to buy supplies.
Yeah.
So much teachers that now to me that really is not fair. Teachers already do not make a lot of money at all. You gonna add insult to injury by by making me buy my own supplies, and then there's people out there like just don't buy them. Okay, so my whole class is just not gonna have a pencil. Then my test scores are just gonna drop, and then I'm just gonna lose my job.
100%.
Wow, your solution worked.
Yeah,
Shut
right.
up.
Well, it was like that. It was like that story that we did yesterday. The little supply list. A parent wrote into a teacher and said that they're not going to buy anything on their little supply list.
Their list supply list.
And I was just like that's
not the twitching eye.
One way to
No.
retain teachers is just like help us.
Can we get some
out
support
a little
somewhere?
bit. Like,
Please,
this
somebody.
is your kid.
Anybody, somebody.
This is like, let's remember who we're actually taking away from. It's your
Your kids,
children.
yeah.
That's true.
Like,
I don't think that parents correlate, like, they don't understand the effect of a happy teacher.
Yeah.
You know, that's something crazy. Like, I'm gonna be completely transparent with you. Moving from Catholic schools to Boston public schools was an
Significant.
absolute game changer in so many different ways.
Yep.
But I'm gonna be real with you. Like, some of the videos you see on my TikTok, everyone's like, I don't know how he has so much energy. I don't know why he's so like happy to be at work. It has a lot to do with getting compensated.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know, in the fact of the matter is that makes me also aware of the fact that I'm now like a minority to the teaching population
Right.
because I can see the benefits of changing that salary.
Yep.
You know, but that's the problem, is that it's so localized.
Yeah.
And it's so like harbored in one area.
Yeah.
But there are still things within that district that could be changed. If I could show you the bathroom
Ugh.
The teacher bathroom at my school. You ever seen Saw?
Yeah. No.
Where they're like in a basement?
Are you serious? That's what y'all
It looks like that, but it's like a 8x4 room.
I'm going to get jumped when I go in there.
Sounds like it's like you're about to get like electrocuted. It's
I cannot.
Horrifying.
I cannot.
Terrifying place. No, talk about like land speed record bathroom break.
I would be
It's
like, where am I?
Yeah, literally. And then like sometimes the light just likes to go off, and you're like, well, now I'm here. Here I am. All you hear down the hall is like, oh no.
That pops up.
It's so bad.
I cannot.
And then I just keep scrolling on TikTok on my phone.
It used to. Here's the light from my phone.
No, it's insane.
I tried because my daughter was in kindergarten this past year and she really, really struggled.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to do everything I can as a mom to keep her teacher happy. Like I knew that like obviously like it wasn't going to happen like all the time, but I tried to do as much as I could to let her teacher know that I appreciated her and that I understood like I know my child a little difficult and maybe a lot. You know, because we spitting milk on people and throwing stuff, hitting people in the face with it.
Oh, that kind of difficult.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
We all have
we
those
got
moments.
ourselves together.
I do that to people. I did that last week.
You and Brian probably spit.
Literally right in each other's faces.
Like, Brian, don't spit milk on Tyler.
That's bromance.
Tyler's best friend's name is Brian. Shout out to Brian.
He's a real one.
We wish you were here. Okay.
He'll be here next time.
Probably.
He'll sit on my lap.
14. He's not your puppy.
He would be if I asked. If I asked nice enough, he'd be like, yes.
But I did. I tried to, as much as I could, communicate with Peyton's teacher and try to do as much as I could to like make sure she was happy. And as somebody who was a teacher themselves, like I understood the value of like once one of my students' parents, you know, gave me a compliment or sent in like a gift card. Now this year for Teacher Appreciation, I got more stuff than I ever got in my entire life. I was like, how? Hey, what? Oh, no. Oh, for me? Oh,
You gotta like play it off like it's no biggie.
I was like, of course I knew you guys were gonna bring this. I was like, man, this more stuff than I got in my whole collective 4 years of teaching before this year. Their parents brought, and it just made me feel like so appreciated.
Right.
My school this past year for Teacher Appreciation, my principal came and knocked on my door, and I was like, I'm in trouble, and she was like, Miss Richardson, can I see you out in the hallway for a second? I was like, I went, sure, like. Hi, Octave in my voice. I came out the whole supply cart of stuff, and they were like, "Just get something." And I was like, "I thought I was in trouble."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Why would you be? You're not in trouble." My principal literally goes, "You thought you were in trouble because your last principal was a psychopath."
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
I was like, "Yeah." So I just gathered my little supplies, and I was like, "Thank you." Like I think people underestimate, like even if it's something little, please, like we just need it. It would be awesome if it was something significant like teacher pay. But some people are not getting any recognition. The only time they hear from their admin is when they do something wrong. The only time you hear from a parent is when they feel like you're doing something wrong. Please, man, teachers are real people. This profession, and then people are like, well, you chose to go into education. Let me tell you something, Cheryl. There are rocks outside in the parking lot, and you can go kick them because
With sandals on.
with sandals on. Matter of fact, maybe barefoot. I hope your toenail on your big toe come off and you get a fungus. I hope you get an ingrown toenail. Sorry, that's my frustration. My frustration coming out. Because please, man,
so aggressive.
I'm just saying, like we have a different perspective because as social media influencers, like I don't have to stress out about money as much as I did when I was only teaching. Like. It's just not fair. Teachers should not have to buy their own supplies. They shouldn't have to buy their own supplies. They shouldn't have to spend their own money to make their classroom look like a comfortable education setting. Why am I being graded on the observation on whether my classroom looks good because I don't have anchor charts and decorations up? Y'all ain't pay for no anchor charts and decorations, and anchor charts are expensive.
100%.
Thank you very much.
Well, I think something that like I've heard this from so many other teachers that I've talked to as well is that like a lot of the time a principal will come into the position and they'll be all excited to just like make all these changes and they're so like enthusiastic and they're so hopeful, but then they do this beautiful thing called making empty promises. So
Overpromise, underdeliver.
100%. 100%.
Public education system.
Yeah.
So one of the promises that I've heard in the past is like, we're going to provide you with all your supplies. You just tell us what you need. We're going to make a big Excel spreadsheet.
Bold-faced lie at the beginning.
You write in your name. I wrote in, I think I put in like, and in fairness, they did try, okay? In fairness, they tried. But I put in this list on like the first week of September, and I got 400 Ticonderogas in like December. And I'm like, what are we going to do? Throw them at a Christmas tree? Like, we're already so far through
decorate
the
our
year.
class Christmas tree.
We have found other ways. I've spent all of my own money. Now they don't matter. The kids are taking them, just snapping them in half. And I'm like, you know what?
Like, those are the good pencils.
At this point, you might as well.
And the intricacies of that in Mississippi in August, when a new teacher starts in August, they don't get paid until the end of September, and they don't get their EFF card. Don't even ask me what EFF stands for. I just know it's the card they give you to buy supplies for your classroom. You don't get that until the middle of September. So you mean to tell me if my students don't have and so they're banking on the fact that at the beginning of the year, your students will just have supplies because it's the first day of school. I'm sorry, this is a Title I school, baby.
Right.
I need some pencils or something. We finna be like Harry Potter from Writing with Blood in whatever her name's classroom was. Harry Potter and the Order of whatever.
Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah, no, we need supplies.
Jesus Christ.
And so it's such a the education system is such a kerfunkel or whatever you want to call it. It just, the whole thing needs to implode and start all over again.
Well, here's what I'm curious about, because I've obviously gotten a parent's perspective on like what education looks like, and you both see it from either side of the discussion. But I think that in the same way that admin can have a really big difference with how teachers feel, parents also have a huge responsibility when it comes to teachers, because we can be this incredible trifecta, or we can be the most severe World War III you've ever seen. And the fact of the matter is, like, if she's our student and you and I don't get along, you're going to tell her stuff about me. I'm going to tell her stuff about you. And then who's going to lose in the ultimate?
Absolutely.
Her.
Yep.
So it's like, I've had a parent who, for like 5 years straight, her daughter was just like not reading at all.
Because you taught second through...
This was back when she was, the first time I had her, she was in second grade, and she graduated sixth grade this year, which I think the math is mathing, but I'm probably wrong. But basically, like, teachers for the last couple of years just like kind of brushed your student to the side, passed her along, all this.
I hate
like,
to pass along, man.
In fifth grade, she was reading at a first grade level. Turns out she's full-blown dyslexic.
Yes.
And the thing is, when I sat down to have that meeting, I clocked it pretty quickly. And then I did like some of my own little tests while I was in the classroom. And I sat down with the parent, and it could have gone one of two ways. She could have said, how dare you bring up any level of learning disability? You're obviously not teaching the right way. Find a different mode to teach. And
which are all things that I'm about to say, which are all things that parents have said.
All things I've said before, that have been said before. You're brand new to this job. You don't know what you're doing. You're not using the right textbooks. They go straight to admin and say that this person doesn't know how to teach.
Yep.
Or we can consider the fact that students are on every different level all across the globe.
Yeah.
You know, and if we don't take some time to consider all options, all you're doing is just hurting your daughter.
Yeah.
Right.
This parent went the other direction, where they were like, I cannot believe that you were willing to stay after school an extra 30 minutes, run a test with her, actually sit next to her while you all do reading comprehension exercises and clock the issue.
And then speak up for her.
And now she like got herself into a nice school for seventh grade, because they graduated in sixth grade in the school that I was in before. Right. But that discussion, like those conversations are really the core of it, because an admin can do whatever they want to try to make you feel incentivized. But in the end, if a parent is willing to help you, that student is getting help on both ends of their life.
Right. Because we found out Peyton had ADHD. I would have never known that. Because we cannot, as educators, say, hey, you need to get them checked for ADHD. We can't say that.
Yeah.
We can't say that. But because of the communication with her teacher and knowing what types of things she was doing in class, I was like, that's a pretty consistent, like, targeted thing.
100%.
Let me check.
Yeah.
Now, had her teacher said, hey, Peyton is doing this, and had I been like, you're picking on my child, why are you texting me all the time about this? I'm a teacher too. I'm working. Why are you We're not trying to argue with y'all off the top. We want to get along. We genuinely want to get along. We're not like we don't want us versus them immediately. We don't want that. We genuinely want to get along with y'all.
Yeah.
But I think that the going straight to admin when they feel like that we did something that they didn't like,
it's the best.
It's immediately, how can we have a relationship where we try to figure this thing out together for your kid, when you automatically see me as the enemy and you went straight to admin before you ever were willing to have a conversation with me?
Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I hate that there is a stigma that, like, if we're bringing up something that the child needs to work on, or like we see something in the student that that it's automatically conveyed
Right.
with negative intention.
Because some people do get mad. Some parents get mad if you try to tell, like some of the stuff that you're concerned about. Like, hey, we had a kid that their parents were like telling them to fail the test on purpose. Like, I'm like,
For
why?
what benefit? Who's
Some type of services or something. They're like, nope, fell on purpose. And we all collectively knew it. We was like, hey man, like he can do the work and he wants to. Like he telling them to fail. So when it's in direct contradiction like that, that is not beneficial for your child each day. The kid is at warring factions with what they're being told at home and what they're being told at school. And some parents, they legitimately will tell with some of the ridiculous parent requests and some of the crazy things students have said. Kids like, my mom said that I don't have to respect you, or my dad said I don't have to respect you because I don't have to listen to a woman. What? Well, your dad's a jerk, and I hope he's divorced and single and has to pay alimony.
That's terrible.
A lot of it.
There's nothing better than hearing a parent's opinion about a teacher through a kid because they're talking at home.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, there's so many instances. But there was one that was like, a student was like, I don't know, my mom just said that you look lonely.
Your mom might be correct.
Not to me, about another teacher.
I was like, your mom might
about
be...
another teacher. In fairness, I probably was.
All right, we all lonely.
But no, the kid didn't realize what they had said. They're like, I don't know, when my mom talks about you, she says she just looks lonely. Or there was one that
and
was
they
like,
hurt your feelings without like meaning to.
There was one where it was like, Miss whatever, my mom said you're never going to find a man.
Well, your mom would know. She's got 6 men. Tell her to mind her business and pick one.
Whoa.
Respectfully.
Wow. Whoa. Leave it on the battleground, why don't you?
Middle school teachers got to be quick with the comebacks.
That's fair. When they call you skibbity toilet or something.
Yeah, tell me my outfit need a jump scare warning. I'm going home. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house.
It needs a jump scare.
Big back.
That's beautiful.
I can't get over this. Big back and jump scare, bald-headed roach, no edges. I'm going home.
You know what the problem is? I'll tell you what the problem is.
What's the problem?
You can't laugh at the jokes the kids
Bro,
make.
I be hollering. Do you hear me?
But I have zero I can't fake anything. I can't just...
I will laugh.
No.
I will laugh.
Will look like my brain's about to fall out of my ass if I try not laughing at some of these jokes. And the problem is, the kids are so damn funny.
They're so
oh my
good.
God.
They don't
I
even
have a
try
student.
sometimes.
I have a senior, okay? He just graduated. He's hilarious. But his big thing is he gives like polite insults. So I'll be like, he'll be like, Mr. J, can I go to the bathroom? And I'll be like, give me just 1 second. Somebody just left. We can only have one person out. He goes, I hope you stub your toe. Or he was like, I hope you have a really long drive home.
It is a long drive, and I'd be sad.
It's a very
Mind your
long
business,
drive. I
man.
live 2 minutes away from the school,
Man,
but somehow it is a really long drive.
Because you sit in your car for 30 minutes disassociating after
just
school
like-
before you drive home.
He's like, Mr. J, I hope both sides of your pillow are warm tonight.
No.
I'm gonna start telling
like,
my enemies that.
Sir, have you lost your mind? I call his dad.
sides.
I call his dad because just to do like check-ins, and I'm like, I mean, he's not hurting anyone.
Well,
Like,
he's so funny.
It's hot in my room. What do you want me to do? He just happens to know that that's something that's just gonna like lightly annoy someone. But the problem is, I'm not someone. I'm cackling, laughing at these kids. I can't hold anything back.
One of my students called a student said something hateful to me, and one of my students trying to take up for me said, "Shut up, you fatherless child."
That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow,
And
is
what
this exactly the
student said-
reaction?
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
everybody was tired of him. They were like, "Bro, shut up." Like,
Oh my gosh.
all I'm saying is, when it's a quiet kid that finally says something to the kid that be bullying everybody else, I'm gonna laugh. I have no shame.
Oh, I love
That's
this.
survival of the fittest. You get what you get, man, and you don't
love
throw a
this.
fit.
When I was teaching 5th grade, the same kid that threw a desk at me, he was having this
Hey,
one
baby.
moment where like we were like reading whatever, and he overheard a girl like trying to read and like stuttering through it,
Mm-hmm.
and he came up and he was like, "You can't even read. Like, why are you trying to read? You can't even read." Just like being a bully, obviously for a million other reasons that were not his fault. But this
But a million
other-
reasons that were his fault. Stop being a bully, you little jerk.
This other kid in front of the girl turns around and goes, "Spell your own name." He goes, "I want you to spell your name." And he wouldn't stop. He looks at the kid, he goes, "Spell your name right now. And if you can spell your name, then you're allowed to make fun of her."
Right.
And he couldn't spell his own name.
But they don't have self-awareness like that
Of course
sometimes.
not. No
self-awareness.
When you get humbled at that age,
Yep.
I bet that kid's going to remember that till he's 40.
Yeah,
and I bet he's
like,
at home being like, L-E-V. Is it 2 L's?
What the hell is spelling?
Those are
2 L's.
canon moments.
Yeah.
Oh, he had an interesting name. I'll tell you once we're not on here. But he had like a little bit of interesting name. But it's like, it's those humbling moments where you're like,
yeah. Listen,
sometimes you
all
need
I'm
that.
saying is I like a good teachable moment. And when it comes from one kid to another, sometimes that's better received than a teachable moment from a teacher to a student.
100%.
The stuff they teach each other, I'm like,
you can't teach that in
this
SEL
is Lord
curriculum.
of the Flies right now.
100%.
Y'all gonna have to figure it out yourself.
100%.
I don't mind a little Lord of the Flies chaos. I just be like,
it's-
ooh, shoot,
You're sitting back there, you're like, yo, round 2, here we
man.
That's how we retain teachers. It's just like have these kids keep
Just
talking.
let them go.
Give them boxing gloves.
Yes.
I cannot believe. I
going.
still to this day cannot believe that. I'm like,
That's
we don't
crazy.
have we don't have boxing as a sport. Why they got boxing clubs?
Oh, that's insane.
Like, why? This
that's
person
crazy.
said more mental health professionals in schools.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is that? Why are we still having to ask for that?
Yeah.
We are, but again, it's one of those things. Whole system needs to implode and start over.
Yeah.
Because at this point, there are so many people don't care about things that don't directly affect them. The people that are passing laws and making the rules and turning down whether salary should increase and all that stuff, people don't care about things that don't affect them. They are not affected by the decisions that they get to make for teachers. Can we please allow the people who are affected by the decisions to be the ones that are involved in the decision-making process?
Well, here's another side of
Please.
it. For a lot of administrators, all they want to do is keep their ass clean so that if they ever get like watched or audited or whatever, they're not a problem to the state.
Yeah.
You know, I remember there was one, so I think it was between my 3rd and 4th year, that summer coming in, they were like, we're going to up our mental health professionals in the school. So they had on like 4 different counselors and like a school psychologist and a therapist and all this. You know what they did? Lunch. They were lunch ladies. They helped with lunch. And they substituted classes when teachers were out. And they held the door in the morning when it was 40 degrees out.
What?
You know what they didn't help with? Mental health most of the time.
That's crazy.
And the thing is, it's not for
But they
lack of wanting to.
But they pull everybody to cover other stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
stop.
This
Yeah.
kid's having a full-blown panic attack.
But they
and
can't
they're
come
like,
help 'cause they
but
covering the
Susie
class."
needs a PB&J like stat. No, that's not what
Right.
that person's there for.
Right.
And it's annoying because it also angers the professional. And it's demoralizing because this
It is
person...
very demoralizing. A lot of
That's
the
it.
education profession is demoralizing.
Yeah.
How y'all always talking about boosting morale? How you on the daily are demoralizing teachers?
Yeah.
How are you boosting morale? It's hard to not feel demoralized when I as an adult come and tell you that a kid told me to shut the F up, you B, and you ask me, are you sure they were talking to you?
What if they weren't?
Yeah.
And if they weren't?
And if they weren't, why is that acceptable language? And furthermore, I have no reason to lie on them. Why would I? So you got to go ask 10 kids if that's actually what they said. So you mean to tell me you act like I just come to you every day and say a kid told me to shut the F up, B? It's the first time I've come to you all school year long, and you're gonna ask me, did I hear what I heard? Man, get. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you to shut the F up, B. And then I'm gonna get written up, but the kid has no consequences.
Yeah.
The whole thing is, it is the most mind-boggling thing. If people had to step foot, the average citizen had to step foot in a classroom to substitute or to see the stuff that goes on, it would be mind-boggling.
Yeah.
You know who does see? When parents go on field trips and they come home, tell their significant other, if you
Yes.
ever make me go on a field trip with them kids ever
Yeah.
again, you go next term.
Yeah.
Parents have left field trips and
Start
got
the year with a field trip.
Y'all, so y'all
Start
can
the
see.
year with the field
there
trip.
There are parents that have left field trips and them and their spouse got to arguing because how
Yeah.
dare you send me with them kids?
Yeah.
You know what's
Yeah.
the funniest thing in the world? And you just like, this conversation just pulled this out of the depths of
He has repressed
of
it.
me
Ooh.
trying to repress this. So, do you ever have moments where like an admin's trying to come up with an incentive, but the one they come up with is just insane? Okay,
Yes.
you're not going to pay me, but you'll try something else.
Right.
So
Can I get paid?
and
I'd
this
rather
is
pay.
just like one of those incentives that you didn't run it by a single teacher. There was one on Teacher Appreciation Week. I remember it was the 4th day. It was the Thursday of Teacher Appreciation Week. They're like, we're going to come in and we're going to sub your class for 30 minutes and you're going to go into the art room and you're going to get a massage. And
I'm going to sleep.
I mean,
No. Here's the problem.
I mean-
it was one of those front-facing ones where you're like sitting up. I had this man on my like holding my shoulders, stepping on my back, and like cracking
Not
my
a deep
back.
tissue massage.
I swear to
in the
God, a
middle
deep
of
tissue
school.
massage.
No,
You know who asked for a deep tissue massage?
Nobody.
Not me.
Nobody.
I didn't want a deep tissue massage. I went back with more back pain than I
Yes,
had
deep
when I
tissue
walked out of
massage
the
is
classroom.
hard, bro.
Also, I come back and my one of my administrators had been covering my class. I come back, Lion King's blaring. My classroom's horrified.
How come you can watch a movie but we can't?
yeah.
So you mean to tell it's not
wait a
fair?
second.
Teaching is hard.
Yeah, it is.
And they realize that immediately.
So, okay.
I'm
so
mad if I
kind
get a
of
deep
like
tissue massage.
on this note.
I need soft cat
the-
paws.
It's not the purr. Anything but the purr. Please.
But the fire.
Anything but the
So
purr.
we were filming this week for board teachers,
Yeah.
and we were
Amazing
at
week
a
filming.
school. Shout out to Pine Castle Christian.
Come on, Pine
Academy.
Castle Christian.
We sat down and talked with their administrators for a little bit, and one of the administrators told us about a program that she put in place last year for the teachers. And what they do is every single week, the teachers get a full day off. No
What?
kids in their class. They have the
What?
whole entire day.
Every week or once a month?
Every week.
Are they
have,
hiring?
Man, because I'm
You
finna
kidding?
move.
Right?
I will be.
They-
It's here?
It's here in
Oh,
Orlando.
I'll teach here. I'm down.
Yeah, right?
You kidding me? I'll pack my bags tomorrow. Rania, surprise.
You can't read whatever you want to in your English class though.
That's true. Yeah.
This is a private school though. So
it's a
maybe-
private school. They get to grade. They get to catch up on their plans.
How?
So what they do is they pull kids to go to special classes that they like want to go to.
But is this an elementary so they don't
This
change
is-
class, or
this
is
is
this a
K to
middle
12.
school?
This is K to 12. So
Damn.
this
Man,
happens,
they figured that out for
right?
real.
And the kids that need help or have extra work to finish up, they pull those kids during that time so that they can catch up on their stuff. And they want to go because they want to go into their electives. This happens every single week for every single teacher.
is
They
a dream.
get right, and they still have all of their preps every single day. Okay,
Retained teachers
Isn't
stop
that-
taking their prep period.
Isn't that amazing?
That's
I'm like,
amazing.
That would be
That's one of the most amazing things.
cool.
what's sad?
That made
have
me
a
be able
whole
to
entire
breathe
day,
better thinking
right?
about that.
You know
Like,
what's sad? My first thought was like, the state's never going to let it happen.
yeah, because
Unless-
they're
if
a
it's not
private school because they're
'cause
going to
that's
see
the
it as
thing, it's
wasted
like these private
instruction
schools
time.
that have the ability to play around with it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And I'm sure
And
I'm sure it would work, but I think of it on like a bigger platform, and I know that the first thing would be like, nope, you need this number of days. If you have anything less than this number of days, we'll have you running through the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's such a shame that
we're
can't
tired.
like
We
look
need
into the productivity of that and get it on
because there's
paper.
probably
need
a lot
that's-
of productivity.
sure.
Think about how much more productive you are when you're able to take a break.
Yes.
I get less done if I just even a 15-minute break. Some days, there's days that I see kids all day long. I don't get a break.
Oh, I'll
I'm
hit
like, no,
REM
I need
sleep
a
in
break.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm down.
We need to
kidding me?
stop negating the fact that mental health is health.
Yes.
And like you said earlier, like a happy teacher is like a really good teacher.
Happy teacher's
and
a good one.
we need to start recognizing the fact that mental health is important, not just for us,
Yeah, but for the
but
kids,
for the
too.
kids too. So during that week, I get a break from the kids to catch up on all of the things that are stressing me out
They get a
about
break
the
from
job.
me.
And they get a break from me. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Absence makes the heart grow
Yeah.
fonder.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need too, and also like a 4-day work week.
Yeah, so we've talked
It's
about that before.
fantastic.
Yes.
We had an episode about that a couple of weeks ago, and it was to hear the different perspectives on that was very interesting.
I mean, I see so many benefits to it, but it's just so hard to imagine because like
We're not
another
used to
thing
it.
I
That's our
think of.
system. It's not.
But
yeah.
another thing I think of is like even with this Wednesday one, the first thing that I think of is like a parent being like, okay, so what am I supposed to not work Wednesdays?
Yeah.
You know,
That's
and
what
that's another
we
hard
talked.
thing
Yeah,
about it.
that's what we talked about.
You know?
There are schools that have been able to figure it out. Public schools that have been able to figure it out. But there are, when we finally started having a conversation about the 4-day work week, we realized there are a lot of logistical things that go with trying to pull that off. But we, as always, we really love to hear from you guys. We would love for you guys to comment, tell us, I think universally we're all like, pay teachers more money. If there is someone watching this that's like, how can we retain educators? Pay teachers more money.
It's true.
Would love to hear in the comments, because I'm sure there are things that we haven't thought of that can retain educators. So please comment, let us know some of the ways that you think as a country we could retain educators, because it's clearly a huge problem. The teacher shortage, there are a lot of uncredentialed teachers in classes now that are long-term subs that are teaching, and that has a ripple effect, because we cannot retain educators because we don't pay them enough money, and the things that they have to deal with is breaking down their mental health. You can't imagine not being able to afford your bills and you going a little cray?
No. Insane.
No,
Yeah.
It's too much. So
Yeah.
anyway, but thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Tyler, it's been fantastic having you on another episode.
That's what I'm here for.
Jess, Meryl, it's been amazing having you. I don't know why I said your government name,
I know.
but it's been awesome.
Oh my gosh, people know now.
You can follow me, Honest Teacher Vibes, on all social media platforms. Tell the people where they can follow you at.
You can follow me at Teacher Tales of Miss Smith.
Fishing for clout on TikTok. I don't know why. No idea why it's that name. Couldn't
And
even
follow
start.
the Board Teachers Comedy Tour and the Teachers Off Duty podcast. We love you guys. Bye, best friends.